welcome to the Creatives Tarot, the YouTube channel that helps you supercharge your creativity and pursue your passions. My name is Melissa and I'm so excited that you are here today. We're going to do something a little different for Tarot Tuesday. I'm not going to be doing a tarot reading. I'm going to be doing a review of a tarot deck that I got recently, and I'm super excited. It is Black History Month, so we're going to be reviewing this, the HooDoo Tarot, which is so fascinating and so wonderful. I haven't used it in any of my tarot readings for the channel yet, sorry, but I have been using it on my own and just getting familiar with the cards. So I wanted to do a review of this in case you're looking for more diversity in your tarot decks. I know it can be really difficult to find tarot decks that aren't sort of very traditional, very conservative with like a lot of whiteness, a lot of gender roles and gender specific norms and all of that. And so I wanted to speak to this and why it's resonated with me. And yeah, so let's get into the review. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the packaging that this comes in. It's very big, right? I've had one other review tarot deck. It was more of an oracle deck that was in a box like this. I don't particularly like them. They're kind of hard to store. It is pretty hard though, and it's got a glossy finish with some examples. Now I got this at Amazon, but I believe I saw some at Barnes & Noble. So like they're very much like, you could probably find them in a couple of different places. It does come with a rather large book too, which I, again, was like kind of excited about, but also kind of not super thrilled with, because again, storage wise and reference wise, it's like, it's nice to have as a separate companion, but I feel like I just want to put this on my bookshelf and I don't really want to store the cards in this particular box or deck because it's just inconvenient. Then the cards themselves are wrapped in individual piles and they come in a case like this. So they just kind of lay in the inserts, which is not my favorite thing. I actually would like to have them all stacked together and in a more box shape that I can store with the other tarot decks that I own. And I find that they don't sit in there easily. So like if this falls out, suddenly like there's cards everywhere. So storage wise, design wise, it's not super user friendly. It's not my favorite design, but I actually love the cards. The cards themselves, I mean, it's a traditional tarot deck. The cards themselves are relatively thin. So if you like a thicker cardstock card material, you know, these are about, I would say the thickness of a playing card, but maybe even like a cheaper playing card. So they're not super thick either. Some people particularly like those. I mean, it makes it very easy to shuffle, but it also means that they hold their shape. So if you shuffle them too much in a traditional style, you may start to see some bending or tearing, some nicks on the edges. So for durability's sake, in terms of how this deck is produced, it's not the strongest, but I still enjoy it. So let's look at the actual cards themselves. So you can see the back of the card has these maps of the United States. They're older maps of the United States on them with keys, and they are identical. And so there's no way to know if it's reversed or not, which is great. That's always appreciated. It's a nice design. These are definitely a little darker. The coloring and the color scheme for this is that sort of like sepia color. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm not a graphic designer, but that sort of like brown color, shades of brown sketching kind of reminds you of pencils with little splashes of color in it. So it's got a very unique, distinct artistic style, a lot of muted hues and colors. So if you like that, this is something that you may enjoy. Now, as I'm flipping through, you're going to notice that some of these cards have different names. And that was the first thing that I saw. And I was like, oh, this is, you know, it's cool that they're doing names that are connected to hoodoo and Black spirituality. And so it provides for a learning opportunity for us as practitioners. And it can be somewhat confusing when you get into the major arcana cards. That's where it starts to get different. So let's talk through actually what the different breakdowns are and how they're named differently in the HooDoo Tarot deck versus a traditional tarot deck. The first difference, is going to be on your name. That's going to be the biggest difference and the biggest sort of obstacle to learning and using the deck. So instead of having the major arcana cards, she has what she calls the elder cards. And so those are cards that are identified by people who were famous in the hoodoo, and sort of hoodoo legends, hoodoo icons, spiritual icons. So they're Black Americans, indigenous people. So you have to kind of learn the history. They are numbered, and the numbers coordinate with the major arcana cards in a traditional deck, as do the descriptions. So one of the things that you'll see here, if you look at like the big queen, is the Empress. So like there is some deliberate attempt to connect these individuals to the specific cards. So the imagery and the meanings and the interpretations are going to be very similar to what you would see when you're doing a traditional deck. The difference is that you either need to remember the numbers or you need to remember the new names to be able to quickly read and interpret it. So it may take you a little while to get familiar with it. But yeah, they're mostly people. There's a couple of things like the garden here, you know, that I think that represents the world. Strength is the same, right? So they're not all different. The lovers, I think, is courting. So it, you know, it depends. Like sometimes they're people and sometimes they're events or themes. And that's, you know, that could be really exciting. The big house, right? So there's a variety of different things that show up, and you just would need to memorize them. Now, I found it really educational. I loved picking a card and learning the history and learning more about the community and the ancestors and things that I didn't know about hoodoo. So, and it doesn't feel like it's just hoodoo. I will say that, but it is intended to be that. So the second thing that's different is the court cards. So the court cards are not set up as king, queen, page, and then knight, right? They're not in that sort of traditional groupings. They're actually in a familial grouping, keeping with this sort of way in which indigenous communities orient themselves. So you have the elders, which are the major arcana cards, and then you have the family, which are the court cards. So you have the mother, father, daughter, and son. And they are in that order, which I believe I read somewhere that like there was an attempt to remove the hierarchy between gender roles in the family cards or the court cards. So that, you know, a king is not above, you know, or a father is not above a mother, etc. They're equal. There's different sides, different expressions of that energy. So you get the mother, the father, the daughter, and the son cards. So that's another change or difference that I kind of really like. Lastly, you get the suits themselves. And so instead of like baskets, we have cups. So here's the daughter of cups, or no, this is the mother of cups, sorry. So this is the mother of cups. So you can see it has similar themes to it, right? It's not random. There's empathy here and compassion and reaching out. So that love, that affection, that nurturing that comes with a queen of cups is very much present here in this mother of baskets. Yeah, and if you look at like the son of baskets, right? Here's the son of baskets card. So you get that sense of helping and healing but youthfulness as well that you would see in a Knight of Cups. But like what's different is like a lot of times I would see the Knight of Cups as sort of fleeting and impulsive or romantic. I often see that interpretation. I don't get this here because I feel like this imagery is a younger kid, but it does have that naiveness, right? And that sort of first love or puppy love kind of feeling associated with it. So there are some themes that are similar there. So we have baskets, we have sticks instead of wands. So here's some of the sticks cards. You can see this one. And then we have knives instead of swords, which, you know, makes sense. So here's some of the swords cards. And what did I not do? Oh, coins. So coins instead of pentacles, which makes sense, right? That's often a change that we see. So yeah, so those are the different types of cards. So I think I love this set. I don't use it often because I'm still honestly getting familiar with the cards and the meanings and connecting, especially the elder cards, like really understanding what those are and what they represent and being able to read them without the guidebook. So it's a lot of work, but it's fun work. It's work that's educational, that's growing my knowledge of this space. And I really enjoy it. I find it inspirational, and I find it a really great starting space for learning about more diversity in this area, because I just think there's so many spiritual decks that don't talk about race or justice. And so when I find ones that that are created by Black creators, I want to support them and I want to acknowledge their contributions and I want to learn from them. And this is a really great resource for just learning and growing your own knowledge. So I may do a reading in the future with these cards, but right now I really bought it for my own personal journey and I'm super excited to learn and grow with the deck. I hope this was helpful. If you get this deck, let me know. If you're interested in learning more about hoodoo and other forms of African mythology or magic, also let me know, because I'm working on some creative projects in that space. So I've been doing a ton of research, and that was also part of the reason why I got this deck, because I wanted to connect with that a little bit more and practice with this and just learn and grow. So if you're interested in that, let me know. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future content, so that other people can find this video and we can grow this channel. I appreciate you, I love you, and take care. Bye.